And gentlemen, it is July 20th. Welcome back once again to the download queue, coming at you, episode 76. 76 halfway through the year. We got coming up today a whole bunch to talk about Grounded. I'll be honest, that's going to be most of the show, I would imagine. Kyle's got Destiny 2 review. New update where you're just Marble Blast Ultra is out now. I'm excited to hear because I am so confused. I started my time with Donkey Kong Bananza, which did not a lot to talk about, still very early stages when we get to it. And Kyle is talking about Steam removing naughty adult games. You dropped this in Discord earlier, and I was very concerned, but I feel like it goes to a wider topic we'll break down when we get there. But first off, how are you, good sir?
I'm doing good. Doing really good. It's been a great week of Destiny grinding, watching the raid, the world's first race last night. Was live in chat when the people who won it. I happened to be watching it. So that was an incredibly cool moment to see them get the boss and get through that. He called his mom. His mom said, "I'm proud of you." It's like, that is beautiful. That is so beautiful. But yeah, great weekend. And we started Grounded and having a blast with that.
I didn't know Destiny had world first stuff. Is it like,
dude, I think they're one of the first to do it, right? I mean, that's not true, but yeah.
Is
on
it
the scale, the mainstreamness of it, like they had 100K people watching. There's almost 50K in one guy's stream, and that wasn't even the official one. Like, it's crazy the numbers it pulls.
Oh, is that from so it's for the raid content, obviously. Do they do?
Yes.
How am I trying to word this here? Because WoW does this with their raids and stuff, but theirs last they're talking weeks at a time. Is Destiny stretched out that far as how hard the content is?
No. So the raid is accessible for everyone once normal mode's active. But when it drops, they all do contest mode, which just makes it incredibly harder. They put modifiers in, so everyone's basically at the same level, and it's just min-maxing your gear and working as a 6-man or a 6-person team and getting it done. But then that is 48 hours, and I think that's changed over the years. It's been about that where it's contest mode, and whoever gets it first gets it. They get a belt, they get recognized. It's a really cool thing, and then they have leaderboards for the rest. But once that is up, you can't do contest mode again. Normal mode opens up usually at the end of the 48 hours. This year's different. As soon as the raid was beat, they let anyone jump in. Normal mode dropped, so that's cool.
Nice. That's fun that they have content tied to it. With WoW, with their stuff, they started recently, which some people aren't a fan of, and I see why. When they do the mythic rating, which is the highest level tier, they have actual story specific cutscenes that won't unlock until that's beaten, tied to the raid. So what's coming next, and then people kind of learn from that then.
And there's been that in the past, for the Last Wish raid. Once that dropped, it unleashed the curse in the Dreaming City, and that set the 3-week cycle or whenever it was for that location. So there has been lore drops and stuff. This one, not. There was nothing. And I think if we want to transition into the quick review,
yeah, absolutely.
Destiny Edge of Fate is round 0 for the next saga, and it does feel that way. I think they went in with that intention, knowing we gotta set a foundation, kind of scuff all the marks up from the past 10 years of just build upon an engine. Let's try to get to a base, and that's what they're doing. A whole new model. Instead of one big expansion, we're gonna get 2 expansions with 2 smaller updates in each one across the year. So very different, totally new scope. I won't be able to solidify a firm feeling until we get well into the year, because this is a live service game and they're changing the way it flows. I have some issues and some stuff with it, but right off the bat, Edge of Fate, great story. Fantastic story, great narrative that sets up a new saga. We know Final Shape ended it. That ended the Light and Darkness saga. They've been saying we're starting a new saga. Last saga was 10 years, so I think it's fair to expect, something that's going to last more than 2-3 years, right? We're getting a long story here. And they set it up well. They executed it perfectly. I think the story and narrative is fantastic. I am just all in. I got questions answered about the 9, but I have even more, and that's what you want. You want the answers to cause more questions, and that just keeps you engaged. So in on the narrative, so in on the story, so in on what they are saying. You're Guardian. This is your mission going forward. All of our mission as Guardians. This is what we have to do. Hell yeah, we got to go do it. I'm staying spoiler free on that. Not that it really matters, I think. um, Outside of that, though, the gameplay is a little sloggy, a little weird. They talk so much about this Matter Spark ball, which is you are able to turn into an orb and go around and traverse the map and area. And the way they made their new zone Kepler, the new area, very Metroidvania style, with where you get these abilities like the Matter Spark ball, the Matter Morph, which lets you just throw a thing and then platforms move and it unlocks new areas. You're just upgrading your kit, you're getting higher level. It's not higher level stuff, but you're upgrading your abilities eventually through the story and through discovery to unlock more areas in that map. And it's cool. It's fine. It's something that I think it's going to feel bad going back to the campaign, being forced to do these puzzle sections where you're a ball, and it slows down the pace a lot. But at the end of the day, too, they tried something different. It works well. It's not glitchy. They had some issues on PC. There are a lot of bugs, but I didn't experience any outside of a few crashes. So I'm going to talk about my experience. But I know people had some technical stuff with the orb when you turned into the ball. I didn't have any. It worked well. It did exactly what it needed to do. Matter Spark, or the Matter form, which you can adjust platforms, that worked exactly as it was intended, in my opinion. So I can't knock it. It's not the main focus of the game. It's not driving everything into these abilities, but for the expansion, it's built with that in mind and around it almost. So I don't know. It's something where I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's something that can be improved upon. I don't think they'll do it again the same way. Obviously, I think there's a lot of fine tuning that when you're considering mechanics. Like, there were mechanics where, and this is where it felt good, where you're doing a boss fight and you're running around in the arena with multiple enemies. You have to turn into a ball to go collect charges, to then do a jump over a thing, to do the super, essentially, that you're able to charge up as that ball, then take the shield off. Like, that stuff feels good. But in the story where you come to a grinding halt and you're just in a room and it's like, solve the puzzle, no, you just have to figure it out. So, other than that, that's like my one critique, is that felt odd, but I don't want to knock them for trying something new and it being a little weird. Like, there's positive stuff within that, I think. But overall, like, so good.
How often is that
good.
stuff revisited, though? Like, not for this specifically, because I'm thinking, like, the little bit I played with you last year.
So this is all new. Like, the Matter Spark and the Matter form, that is new. It is only on that location Kepler. It's not in anything you would have played.
That's what I was going to ask, if you can use it in old content or if it's just locked to these regions. Because I was thinking of like the green stringy stuff I had in the one I played.
So yeah, that is just your ability, your strand, subclass, right? Then a campaign we played let you unlock that, and that's just teaching you how to use a subclass and whatnot. But this is totally different. It doesn't let you use a Sparrow on this location. You're able to eventually use the Matter Spark ball as your Sparrow. You morph into that instead. But it's a location that's built with that in mind, and like, that's cool, right? With everything we've got in Destiny, this is so different. You are like I said, you load into the zone. You can't call your Sparrow. You're getting these abilities. It's a Metroidvania style map. We talked about it in the past months, right? About how they're doing this weird Metroidvania, maybe roguelike mode. Like, it's like, in hindsight, the roguelike mode was solid and awesome, in my opinion. It worked well. And this Metroidvania thing works. Is it perfect? No, but it works and it fits in Destiny. So, like, I can't knock it. This is a very, very solid expansion and campaign experience. I beat it on Legendary. It was a little easy, but I had a blast. Did it all solo. Had a great time. Love where we're going with Destiny. I do have questions. I feel like I have nothing else to do. I feel like I did everything. I finished all my weekly stuff already. I didn't do the raid. That's something else, though. But there's no seasonal quest line like in years past. That's gone. So I'm wondering, in next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what is it gonna look like playing Destiny? Because I just don't know. Like, I have question marks of what I'm supposed to be doing now. I just base power level. I just get higher. I have to get to 180 right now to get a fire team strike that is expert level. Then that would give me higher loot, and eventually I'd get mythic level. Once I get to like 2 something power level, so I'm like, is that it? Is this the game now? So there's a lot to be seen long term in it. I won't, we can't see until weekly reset hits, what the new challenges are that week, what that looks like. It's asking you to learn the portal. It's asking you to do solo ops, fire team ops, Crucible. All that is new in this portal, which is all new, which I think it works weird, but it works. Growing pains. So yeah, great experience A to Z in the campaign. Going forward, I don't know. Is this going to be something in a month or two, like I hop off of until the next drop? That's fine. That's cool. If this is what they're doing with Destiny, I think that's okay. But that's like the one coming out of the game, coming out of beating it. I have that question of, but what am I supposed to be doing now, and what's coming next? There's nothing unlocked that I know of with the raid. Like the raid was beaten, that was it. So unless something happens on weekly reset, which totally could, there's nothing new added. There's one activity that is time gated. It only happens every 2 hours, and it's like a 30-minute time to do it. And then you're just doing old strikes and using the portal. All right. Hey, we'll see. So that's where I'm at with Destiny. I do think if you're interested, it is a great time to hop in.
Does it?
But it
feel different this expansion?
Zero. They redid all the sandbox. All the numbers are different. Everything got squished. So everyone's doing less damage. The enemies have less damage. So that it definitely has redone the kit. They redid armor work. So you have new stats names. They're not called not weird names. I've watched videos. They described it as they dummy proofed it. And I need to make my weapons better. We'll upgrade the weapon stat instead of the intellect or whatever the adjacent thing was, right? So it's just a rebrand, not a rebranding. So setting a new foundation for the next saga, and each update will fine tune it, make it better. They're already going to fix the destinations tab. When you load in, you had the destinations tab, and it was like the map with all the planets and the towers, and you could choose what to do on that. They got rid of that. Portals of focus. They desaturated the hell out of that destinations tab and put it like you have to tab over and press the directional pad down. So it's 2 button clicks to see it, and it just looks awful. Nothing pops up on it. It's like, but I have quests to go here, and it's not giving me icons. They've already said, hey, we went too far. We went too far. So this is something they're going to upgrade and work with. They've been honest about that. They said, hey, we get it. Please be with us, though. We're putting in the work. We're not going anywhere. We're just getting started. So I think this is an excellent expansion that does exactly what they said, with a lot to figure out. The high end hardcore players have a lot to complain about. Whatever. It's buggy. Whatever. They also fired a lot of their QA team, so that's what happens. It's like it's on them too, So I'm not saying don't complain, it's buggy. I'm like, don't act surprised it's buggy. Of course it is. Like, it is what it is. But I haven't experienced too many bugs, so I probably would change my opinion if I kept hitting the same thing over and over.
I'll be interested keeping up as you play and as the year goes, and kind of comparing and contrasting this and World of Warcraft, because they both seem kind of in similar spots of the refresh of this is the second saga of what this game is, and how they do updates going forward. Because they announced this week too, the second expansion in their trilogy for WoW will be fully revealed at Gamescom next month. So,
oh hell yeah,
we'll be kind of side by side as far as updates go with those 2 projects going forward, which is exciting. Because with WoW, it's been, especially with Midnight in the teaser trailer, it seems they're revisiting older areas and kind of bringing life into dead zones rather than introducing a lot of new. So it'll be interesting to compare and contrast as that happens throughout the year. Or if that comes out this year. I'm hoping Midnight comes out in fall. That'd be dope.
Yeah, honestly, it could.
Announced to Gamescom, come out October, November.
Yeah. There's nothing else, and I don't think you want to come out next year. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, right now we're just in what is the live service aspect of this, but fantastic campaign. Got some weird Cthulhu Orwellian looking gods that we're dealing with. It's so cool.
It's
we got a PS5 in the raid.
It's their marketing.
It's just, I know, it's just architecture that looks like it. That's not really. But yeah, that's Destiny.
It's the few stuff I get a couple Destiny things on TikTok, and a lot of it, people seem happy, content. It's obviously your content creator side of things. Like, people are good. I saw I don't know if it's spoilery, but like the menu music is like the original like Destiny menu music or something now. I'm like,
it's cheap. But I also think playing it and beating the campaign, this is in their minds step one. It has to be narratively and setting forward, like it has to be, in my opinion. But yeah, it's such a cheap play. I turned it on. I'm like,
that's the good though. It shows where their head's at going in with the content though. Like that's a good sign for me.
Yeah, no, if you jumped off of Destiny and if you used to love it and you're like, I definitely think get Edge of Fate. If you don't want to spend the $40, that's fine. Wait for it to get on sale. It's a fantastic story. If they're going to make these contained things and they're going to be solid and then eventually even better, hell yeah, I'm down for it. So whatever also helps, no more layoffs. And bad management, stop being bad. Because last time Final Shape was great and then layoffs happened after. Well, so what's going to happen now? Because player count is not where it used to be. Is this where they thought, or is it lower? That scares, because then is this good enough? But then they have more layoffs because they didn't make them enough. We'll see. I want to move on before we get sad about it.
Is this fully under PlayStation now? Has that happened? Are we aware yet? Don't know.
They are fully under PlayStation. The question is, does PlayStation fully control? Like, did they take over fully? There's that Gummy Bear game that got taken, and now it's a Sony full game. But yeah, I think this is part of it. It's Marathon and this expansion. The Marathon got delayed. Oof. Art theft. Oof. Ooh. Sony's like, all right, Destiny. So we'll see. If this does nowhere near what they want, then yeah, I think we might see Sony step in a little harder if they already haven't. Or maybe, Destiny. I don't think Destiny goes. It's the moneymaker. They can't.
That'd be wild.
I think Bungie. I think it'd just be Marathon goes. If anything. But anyways, I don't want to talk about the sad because we're having fun. I'm having a great time in Destiny. It's good. Looking for a raid team. If you want to get in this raid, if you haven't done raids, join me. Let's figure it out. I haven't done a lot of raids either, but I want to get some casuals into this game just like me until I fall off hard.
Come back a couple months for the next expansion.
The next one's Star Wars. December, buddy. Yeah. We get a Star Wars theme where we're going to a Tatooine style planet, getting lightsabers.
Sick. Love it.
Yeah. Dude, there's going to be pod racing. I just know it. Okay. The Renegades expansion is going to bring back the Sparrow Racing League, which is well loved. They never brought it back to D2. It was only in Destiny. You race sparrows around a track and there was a forklift that was hell. But you go to Tatooine, we're pod racing, baby. We're pod racing.
That's the raid. It's just pod race. A whole tournament bracket you got to go through.
No, it'd be its own thing. There's no raid. They're bringing back Epic Raid later.
Down for it. Down for some pod racing. While you fantasize about the future,
and out into the stars.
I've been going into the planet of Donkey Kong Bonanza. A little bit.
We went different directions.
Grounded's going to be at the end. We're ending at the Grounded. That's going to be the chunk.
That's fair. I really, really tried to steal that segue from you.
You did.
I had no idea where you were going.
See, this Donkey Kong segues to the other thing after. It all fits in. But yeah, Donkey Kong Bananza began yesterday after brilliant reviews, I would argue. Ends across the board. This is their Nintendo's first masterpiece, quote unquote, for the Switch 2. Second and a 10 out of 10 game across the board for this team, who also did Mario Odyssey. So they were firing at all cylinders as you could. I am probably right now roughly 3.5, 4 hours in, still very early. If you've kept up with trailers, I've arguably gotten through tutorial stuff. I got the first Bonanza power. I have Pauline finally, so very early stages. But it's a fun time. I'm not fully in love with it as everyone else is so far. Obviously, that'll come later. I have been doing as much exploring as I can to my ability. Digging through the earth, it's fine. The rewards of doing it, you get gold flakes. I don't know what just gold that adds up
Yeah.
That kind of
All
fuels.
currencies for stuff, right?
Yeah. But it fuels your Bonanza powers. There's too many banana puns. Bonanza powers.
Mhm.
That's really all it's used for. So at this point, I have
Banana
like
peels.
7,000, 8,000 of it that I'm just not using. So like digging through the earth, it's kind of like, you can if you want. There may be a chest here that has a coin or a fossil that you use for currency for outfits similar to Mario Odyssey. So like exploration so far isn't super grabbing my attention. It's kind of just an afterthought. Um the other weird thing that's I feel is going to take some getting used to, the crystal bananas similar to the power moons in Odyssey. You can find individual ones around the world like you could if you do like a major task, they're in bundles of 3 like the moons were. But instead of having them for progression this time, they are used for a skill tree. So instead of getting through a hard section, getting a bunch, and then this is what you use to continue, it's, oh, do you want to increase your health by a heart? Or increase your, uh, you have a clap that you do, and if you do it, it kind of gathers all the resources around you instead of individually walking around. You can increase that by 50 meters, or increase your sonar to see what's through walls by 50 meters. So that early stages too is kind of taking some getting used to because I want the sense of progression. I want the, hey, you did this real hard thing, and instead of now you can go to the next spot, it's kind of just go out and do whatever. Um, how you progress through the levels at this point, it almost seems like you can mainline to it. There will be just a platform you smash down, it breaks open a hole, and you drop down, and you're at the next floor. Because you're going to the center of the earth, so you have like your themed world. I forget what the first one is, sorry, but it has like a sub level 100, sub level 200, sub level 300, and then after that you go to the next kind of theme. So there's different levels to each world essentially that you can really go through at your own pace. You're not held back by anything. You're not, again, not trying to get bananas to progress. So I'm curious to see how fast you could mainline this. If it's got a Breath of the Wild, you can go to the final boss at the start type thing, but a lot to understand still, a lot for me to kind of dive into more throughout the week. I did get it late, so that's why I did not get a ton of time into it off the rip,
Yeah.
but
That's cool. Yeah. No, the reviews are awesome. Like, and I've seen, it seems like it is something that gets better the more you play. I mean, I'm going to get it spoiled for me at some point because I don't really care that much. But the ending of this game sounds really cool. People just keep talking about it, like the ending sequence. So, like, who knows? Yeah. It seems awesome. It looks like a game I can't wait, or will be great to play with my daughter eventually. Like, yeah, it just looks fun, goofy, and then yeah, just everyone comparing it to. I've just seen like people say it brings parts of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom with Odyssey, with Splatoon, and like basically all their games into like not into one, but like all the learnings are just like uplifted. So that's awesome. Like that's kind of what you want, I would imagine, from studios with your own stuff. Like, right? Like if you're working on something, you want to be able to also use those learnings to the next thing and then just continue that flow. So yeah, this is easily post reviews, like be shot up to like, all right, 100% gonna have to buy this at some point.
it's another one too where I'm like, I wish they were dropping the soundtracks for these day of on Nintendo Music because it is
Yeah,
so
they want
good.
people to buy them.
When I started it, I set my Switch down and went to do something else real fast, and just coming back to the main menu, it sounded like I was walking back into like my grandma's house as a kid to my N64. Like the menu music and just the stylization
Grandma
of it.
Cranky Kong.
Grandma Cranky Kong. Just the stylization of like, this has such old school vibes, but it sounds new, obviously. But the music just every second so far has been great. The ending, yeah, like you said,
music,
of
man.
don't get spoiled. I was immediately on Friday. TikTok has ruined me, ruined my experience. I saw post credit stuff like,
oh, it sucks.
Bad
I don't go on
time.
TikTok anymore.
Avoid it. Which is another thing that I'm like, is that why I'm not fully enjoying it now? Because I know what to expect already, which is a whole other conversation. Because like, oh, this is the ending. This is the post. This is what's gonna happen. Like, well, that's okay, why am I doing this then? But
Yeah, that might. I see. I see. Well, you just gotta not let that ruin it for you. Maybe give it some time. Come back to it.
a
That is
whole
a bummer, though.
other conversation.
Yeah, it really is. But that's cool. I'm excited to see if you can come around on it and what more time into the game does for you.
I'm hoping. It's something I've been thinking about. I almost threw in for today's show. We'll say, but it is kind of a. Overall, I'm just not enjoying games like I used to, which is very sad to say. I get more enjoyment
Might
of
need a
listening
break.
to other people talk about games, but I'm like, again, future episode. But it's
Yeah.
good. I'm happy it's here. I'm happy Bonanza is on the eShop. I'm happy Bonanza is pushing down the shovelware and all the smutty, dirty adult games on the eShop. They're there, Kyle. If you're there day one looking through, there's some weird AI stuff. They should take some cues from Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. So I saw this on. Did a lot of time on Twitter. Way too much time on Twitter yesterday. But I was looking at people doing raid races and posting stuff for that. And I came across people complaining about censorship and Steam removing games and that this is awful and the world is gross and they're removing our stuff and that's freedom of speech. They're shutting it down. I was like, what the hell happened? But yes, on July 16th, Steam updated its game publisher rules to include a clause that prohibits content in violation of any standards set forth by Steam's payment processors, banker, and providers. So they're putting it on the bank and the money people saying like, hey, they also don't want, they have certain things, so we have to abide by it too. So they changed something, and essentially they ended up taking a lot of NSFW, and FSW, whatever it is, not safe for work stuff, naughty stuff, adult things. They took those. They took a bunch off. A lot of the games being about trigger warning, if this bothers you, but SA, sexual assault, and different of those things. So some games straight up teaching people and encouraging how to do it. So those are the type of games that got taken down. I think that is good, right? I think we are in the middle of something in the world where we see, free, we got to be cautious of what we're promoting and what we're saying because it really builds a lot of stuff and people get it's hard to say what I'm saying because it's a weird thing. But yeah, it came across this, saw the negative side of it, people complaining, and found out, I think this is actually a decent thing to crack down on these games that one thing children shouldn't be getting to, right? And right now they can just by going on into the shop, and you mentioned the Nintendo shop as well. Like you go on and you see like adult focused games that children shouldn't be exposed to, right? So I think it's a great thing Steam's doing something, whether is it enough? Who knows? But if games are going to teach things and promote, like, one thing, illegal things and things you should not be doing to anyone, like, I think that's a good step, good thing. I think we do need a little more regulation. That gets hard with, like, it's a balancing act, but I don't know. There's a line that can't be crossed in a lot of ways.
I think as a whole for gaming, though, like that's something that, even aside of like this specific topic of it, that almost every store page should be doing better on. Just with the amount of NSFW stuff, AI stuff, the cash grab games that are just like clickers for $1 that people hop on for trophies, like that's become such a, I won't say problem, but such a large part of the storefronts and pushes down other indie games and pushes down other larger titles. I looked just last year alone on Steam, 19,000 games were released. That is wild. And I would bet that 85% of those are exactly under this topic, that they just let go and be free. And here's the release. And is this actually checked for quality, checked for bugs? Is there malware? Like, I don't know how. It just seems like such a wide open window that people can release content without being relegated in any sense, so in any way.
Yeah. And yeah, there's some things, adult content is not bad. I think like there's a lot of there's stuff for that. I get that, right? That work is important, or it is what it is. But it's the accessibility to any age, right? That it's like, why can't we not agree? Like, just stop for a second. Let's get this under control. Then let's figure out how to do it properly for people who are of age that want that. Cool. But again, if you're promoting stuff that's illegal, that's hard to say. So like, fuck that. That's awful. But yeah, I just thought it was fascinating to come across it on Twitter and seeing people complaining about it, and then they'll see what happened, and it was like, oh, you're complaining your porno games are gone, but it's not even all of them. It's just like really nasty ones. But okay, complain, I guess. It's
the people
crazy.
complaining are just inadvertently calling themselves out.
Yeah, they need to touch some grass and get a little grounded.
So, ayo.
There you go. Look at that. I shot us right out of that story.
Good. I got a little grounded this week, which will be, that sounds like a weed reference. Will be the main topic of this week's show. Because we got in. Kyle came in last week or so and was like, yo, Grounded is on the docket before Grounded 2 comes out. Which in my mind, I was like, cool, we got some time. Nah, that shit's out in like a week and a half. Did not realize I'm stressing. But we hopped in. The goal is for the main story, because that is now our thing. And it has been a beautiful balance of story progression, building out our base, and just overall experiencing the game as it should be without rushing through things. I'm absolutely in love with this game. I just said a little bit ago how I'm not enjoying games like I used to. Grounded is the one currently for me that I am thinking about when I'm not playing. We just got done with our session before recording, and I went upstairs and was telling Hannah about all the wild shit that happened, and just like the spiraling ball that happens when, oh, you finally got this thing to get build thing B to make things C easier. It's just such a beautifully crafted thing that I'm sure happens in every survival game, but I mentioned to you too, survival games are not my jam. I have never jumped into them or given them the time of day for reasons I'm sure we'll get to in a bit, but Grounded takes all my fears and worries and what I was expecting of a survival based building and tones down on it without making it feel too childish or too easy mode. It is still a very challenging game. Today I straight up was like, the morale is down. I don't know what to be doing. I feel like we're at a crossroads. But I love it.
I had to do it. I had to get us going on that one. You were multiple times. You're like, I don't know, and I was like, oh man, I'm losing him. This is it. But we did the boom, boom, boom. You need this, and we went and got that and that and that, and it fucking worked. So I'm happy you turned around because I was worried.
Today was the first day I'm like, maybe this is kind of getting to the end, but then it came together.
Yeah. When I asked, so what were we doing? You're like, I don't know anymore. I was like, uh-oh. Multiple responses of, I don't know. I was like, uh-oh.
I'm just here.
Yeah, but today's session was particularly crazy. Like right away stuff happened and we were just running around, hunting bees. It became a sniper with the bow. Let me tell you, that is very satisfying to drop a bee, have it drop, and then like do what we need to do with our pollen arrows and such. Fun time. I'm happy you're turning around on it, or you love it so much, because I've always I've hopped in the game when it came out early access, and I don't get nowhere near as far as we've gotten. This is the farthest I've ever been. But 2 or 3 updates across its life, I've hopped in and been like, wow, this is awesome. So to see the game fully formed now, really cool. And I do think it works really well. I think it is a very well balanced game in terms of that whole survival loop of, you need this, so go get that. Oh, to get that, you need this. And to get that, you need that. Once you do all that, guess what? You now need this. Get that, you need and you're right, that whole loop is there. It does feel really rigid. I think at times it is kind of rough. But it does work really well when you're in the flow and you get past the little hurdle you need to enter and to start the snowball effect. Once you get over that, it really was smooth sailing for us. We were stuck on getting, what did we need first? Like we were we wanted a ladybug, but we needed to get a hammer, or we wanted the
Stink
axe,
bug
we needed a
parts.
ladybug. Then that means we needed it was just like 5 things ended up needing to be done to do one thing. And by the end of it, we're like, oh my gosh, yes, hell yeah. So like it works, but I do think it is really strict and rigid. Like you were complaining, not in a negative way, but kind of like what do we need? Like what? Okay, but we need bug parts, but we need a gas mask, but we need from the stink bug and such. So yeah, really rigid, but it works.
Yeah. People unaware as we dive into this here, Grounded is a survival crafting childlike adventure. You take the role of one of 4 kids who are shrunk down to smaller than the size of an ant. You are very minuscule. You are very tiny, very small, trying to find, I'm assuming, how to be big again based off the second game and what's happening, while unraveling how this happened, the science behind it. We've ran into multiple bases scattered around that a scientist was using for these tests, and his robot buddy that is kind of setting us on, albeit a very baseline, basic test of what to do. I need this chip. When you get said chip, you'll get a little bit of a cutscene of a flashback or a recorded message or memory or something that slowly does world building. I'll be honest with you right now, the story is so non-existent. It feels like the afterthought it was, because it didn't launch at the start, right? That was the kind of the last big update they did for it.
Yeah, when it first came out, you find the base and the burgle the robot under the tree, and that was like the end of the story content at that moment. So a lot more obviously they added. I think it is very light. I wonder by the like, is it going to ramp up? you know, but it's just a story that's there that kind of helps you progress through each zone. As each zone gets a little bit more of a stronger enemies to go through. It feels like so. Yeah, I agree. I'm not attached to the story beyond it being, okay, yeah, we got to get bigger. Okay, so that's why we're finding these things around, and that's why there's small things in the environment. That's why there's bases, and that's why we're small, because someone made us small. They were testing something. So it's awesome to know that Grounded 2, they already, it's in early access, so it's not going to be a full game when it comes out, but they already said there's more story content at the beginning than there was in 1. They know people were like down for the story. So I'm hoping with Obsidian being Obsidian and everything, like we get a little more story, because I think people really wanted that. So I'm hoping that feels better.
Yeah, which I would like to save that towards kind of the end of hopes and wishes for Grounded 2 going in, because there is quite a bit, and the story is what I hope is more fleshed out. But so far it's been what I said at the beginning on my side. A lot of my assumptions for survival games like this, and those assumptions being squashed, bugs, is kind of what's kept me going. And I feel like it's kind of built around gameplay with how we've done so far. My biggest thing that I mentioned yesterday when we were playing, I think, was the constant restarting of resources, constantly restarting with a death and losing everything. This, again, no context for other survivals, they haven't experienced, but this has been, you lose your bag with your sort of extra stuff. So you have like a quick bar, and those items you keep on your death, you respawn. So I'm keeping all my weapons in my quick bar. I could respawn with those, get back to where I died, try and kill what killed me as I go on to retrieving my backpack for the rest of my stuff. You obviously lose some durability on your armor. When you die, take damage. But outside of that, there's not really a harsh, like, kick in the teeth for taking a death. You're not actively trying to avoid death. Today, especially, as we were playing a lot of the bigger battles where you mentioned, like the stink bug, you need stink bug parts to make a gas mask to fight it, but you don't have that at the start. So you have to, like, kind of guerrilla warfare your way around it of, I'm going in, I'm out of stamina, tag out to the next person. If they die, stay alive for them to get back. And it works really well at times, to a point where it feels like it's the intended way of playing, if it is or not. but it's worked out for us. And it's been that, oh, we did the stink bug thing, and then we were able to get the hammer. And that so quickly went from we started out and I attacked a ladybug on day one, clap my cheeks, down immediately, to
Yeah.
today you and me, or I guess the first one was I went and fought one, able to solo it along with the spider. You're soloing
And
a ladybug.
I would have soloed
I'm-
it too. It's just healed at the last second and you were
Yeah.
there. So it's like, oh, sick, help me out. But like totally, I would have been able to solo it.
But it's been awesome
Okay, so like,
having that progression, right? Like
mhm.
this was deadly
Yeah.
before, and now we knocked out 4 today in one day. You're out here sniping
Mhm.
bees, like you said, something we didn't know was a thing on day one. Like it does
Yeah.
such a great job at here's new stuff, you got new resources, go analyze this to new stuff, which is where we're at now. It's like trying to get this mushroom sandwich and mentally trying to decipher every way to get to that recipe, and oh, this didn't work out, but it leads to this thing, which could lead to that. And it's so great how it's constructed and builds upon itself.
Mhm. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, we're playing on medium difficulty. For people wondering, so we have to manage your thirst, your hunger, health, stamina when you're fighting, and all that. But again, it is very forgiving, and you can go in and customize. I'm looking at it right now, and you can turn off the different flips so your backpack. You lose everything when you die. You can make it harder on yourself. You can keep your backpack and everything if you want to. So there's a lot of cool stuff within that. Being able to like choose the experience you want, if you want it to be harder, if you're into survival, if you never touched it, you can put it on mild. But it's still very forgiving where there's like consequences to dying. It's like, bummer, but I can actually go to a respawn or a field station that's not too far. So it's okay to respawn and I can easily get my bag because it's right there. So being forgiving, but not like super easy. They hit a balance with that they strike very well.
With that too, it's been fun seeing, obviously in the shrunken state, how kind of scaling works and like experiencing that, because I can't think of another game that, oh, you need trees, nah, you're going cutting these individual blades of grass, and how that scales to our house is kind of built on the wooden fencing, almost like posts in the ground, and how everything kind of interacts and scales up, where, oh, you had these spiders that are by your house, hate them, they're under the tree just hanging out, we'll exterminate them one day. Like, oh, that's the biggest thing you've seen so far. And then all of a sudden, magic wolf spider comes out that's the size of our house, trampling over everything. And it just works. Like, it walks through the grass, you see the grass like trees in a movie, like treading away as it moves through. And the sense of scale they've done and just world building around, it's so special. And I'm so excited to see where they go with it. You don't even
see the bug through the grass. Like they're walking through, you just start to move and you're like, oh my God, what is that? Or that you hear something flying, you're like, where is it? Right? Things crawl, the sounds in the ear that I'm like, is that a bug? Or like, you were like, what's that noise? I'm like, I think it's a weevil and it sounds like a pig. It started like doing this weird honk bark thing out of nowhere at night. And I was like, what is that? Like, yeah, the world design, the attention to detail, the scalability of, you just feel like you're in a backyard. You feel like you're in grass. You just is authentic in that way. And also the way like the items work together. Like what is the spider is, we found that they're weak to spicy. So we're going to find probably a hot sauce packet or like a hot sauce bottle. And that's going to let us make like spicy weapons. Like that's so cool. Or like a pepper or something. The way they mess with, or we found a packet of mints and we broke those off, and that's mint shards, so we can make minty arrows, and it makes them fresh or whatever. Like, what does that mean? Like, why do we need to make something fresh?
You're gonna hit them, but they're gonna get some shades.
Like, it's really fun. It's creative. It's inspired in a lot of ways. But the way those systems work, it's a very much like an RPG-ish system, right? Like the way I said this when we were talking about Avowed. I see so much grounded in Avowed because of the way these systems and mechanics work on each other, and obviously the scalability with the giant tree roots. And then in Avowed, you get those moments too, when I'm like, oh, look at that. But yeah, there's just something to beyond the building and the survivability. the fighting the bugs, that whole process. That's something really good too. Our armor, right, and doing buffs on them. Like it's really rudimentary. The pollen arrow all of a sudden does a lot of damage to the bee. All right, you need a pollen arrow to probably take down a bee. Probably won't be able to without it. It'd be a lot harder. So like it really wants you to do that another item, but it works and it's fun and it like is straightforward. It doesn't require like, what am I doing? Oh, that. Okay, I just need to do it. There might be 12 steps to get there, but I just got to do that thing and that's going to work. So it's very simple in that way, but I do enjoy it. It makes the combat really fun because I feel like, oh, I can't fight that thing. I will be able to though. Like once we read the pollen arrows can take down flying enemies, we're like, oh, whoa, we got to figure this out. And we got to find a bee now. And it's satisfying, rewarding.
I would argue at this point almost, you bring up Avowed. I would almost say that Grounded does those RPG aspects better.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Avowed, you have your skill trees, and it's something I feel like I bring up more often than not of, oh, you got points and stuff. How noticeable are those changes? Which more often than not really, because enemies are scaling around you, but with Grounded, we decided today, like, what kind of armor sets we're going to, and I'm going to go tanky with a hammer, which, cool, you get more defense, but it's minus stagger too, and the red worker ant outfit lets you carry more, which immediately was like, early game, we both need this, because you can carry, instead of 4 planks, you get 8, and then 11, and then 15 or whatever it is. Like, the rewards for getting certain armor types or speccing a certain way, or kind of building your character to fit a narrative or just a class archetype, I guess, is so much more rewarding and upfront in this that it feels good to do and it's exciting to chase towards, rather than, oh, my numbers are up, percentages up on this.
Numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very like status based, it feels like, right? And there's numbers, of course, in the back end going on, but you know, when we get when I got the bee, when we start, oh, we can make bee armor, it's like we're looking at, oh, it does more bow stun damage, so I'll be able to stun people while shooting them with the bow faster. That's when I make damage and our DPS so much better. Look at that. But it's very like, we're looking, this gives us this, that's what it's for, as opposed to, oh, let me get this up, and this is the play style I'm going, referencing Avowed, right? Like, oh, I'm going shield and sword, so I'm focusing on that. This is for this, and then I have this for this. So it just, you're able to fit things in, and they're able to be used in those specific instances more often than not. And oh, if I want to carry stuff, all right, I can carry it whenever. No, I'm going to focus on like getting building materials. Let me go get my red ant worker suit. Let me go work. And that's what I'm doing for the time. Like being able to choose what kind of you're focusing on, that almost creates your class archetype beyond just putting it into your character stat, right? Because you can literally drop the red ladybug armor and I could do the heavy damage for that stuff. Like we could flip it around as much as we want. That freedom does feel nice.
Yeah, it's kind of what I said with the Dredge almost, where everything you're doing piecemeals you to the next thing and feels rewarding. It doesn't feel like busy work, which it quite literally is, where ants going around getting stuff for building houses, but even just the collecting resources like that, like building the house feels rewarding and getting the more space. And the weird side of it that happens, we had the day where we pocketed a bunch of red ant eggs, not thinking
like
about it. And then we went to sleep and they all hatched overnight, so that our house trying to attack us. And then randomly the larva payback that happened or whatever, where they like swarmed our house, like there's so many unexpected things that like
we killed so many larvae. They wanted to come get us. They were going to try to kill us all and fight us because we've been killing all the larvae. So you get a notification. We got a little alarm. It was like, we're like, what the hell? Top right, incoming attack larva or whatever it was called. And they came. It was like, what? Like, did not know that aspect was in this game either. You're telling me we get some base defense moments? What else is going to attack us? Well, the spiders, bigger creatures. We fought a lot of stink bugs. We fought a lot of stink bugs.
Didn't kill a lot of stink bugs, so we fought them.
Yeah, we didn't kill them actually. They killed us a lot.
We got one.
We did only get one. That's all we needed, too. Yeah, no, there's I think finding survival games seem to, like, I haven't played a lot either, but there's like a flow to it, and like getting started can be rough. I think we hit that moment today a lot of times, but like this is the only one like that I'm starting to see the flow, and like I'm getting the itch to play. And it is, we're playing together, and that definitely helps and whatnot. But yeah, it's man, I want to play right now. That's where I'm at.
It's like I said, I'm thinking about it. Moving into Grounded 2, I hope, because I'm gonna lose. Actually, I don't hope because I'm gonna lose my life. I would love cross progression on this, because if I could have this on my Switch on the side, dude, I would be grinding out resources like mad. I would be nonstop in the what is it, playground? It's at now something park for the second one. But
they're at the park.
So much now looking forward that I'm excited about coming in. Again, it's a week and a half out pretty much. But I saw on Twitter now the other day they have for the second one introducing a multi-tool. Like you don't need to take up inventory spaces of different stuff for cutting and digging up, which I'm curious to see how that works, because I feel like that'll take away a lot of the progression unless you could individually customize each of the tools in that. But that I'm excited for. I'm hoping, again, like you said, it's early access for the second one. I hope the story is more fleshed out up front and feels more. The story is the only thing I feel isn't as rewarding, where we got the big chip or a burgle and it's kind of like, okay, now you go get the next one, move on. Like there wasn't an immediate like power gain from it, or now I can go attack these stronger bugs from it. So I hope that's kind of fixed. They already talked about the mounts. Mounts are being added in the second one. Excited to see how that works. Gonna get payback on these ladybugs and spiders.
No crossplay, or it has cross progression, but it's only PC and Xbox. So like a Switch thing, they're not there yet.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so it's only on Xbox and PC right now in early access. But yeah, I was trying to see also what they did. I remember they mentioned story stuff in the reveal trailer for it. They what I'm remembering offhand is it's more story than Grounded when it first released. Does that mean a lot? I don't know. Who knows? But there is stuff there. It's going to be more so than what was in Grounded, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm still waiting for the story stuff. I agree, to hit in Grounded more than just here's a quest to keep you moving forward. You don't know what to do. You're looking around. You've done a bunch of stuff. Everything's easy to kill. Probably go to the story, right? I get that as a nudge forward, but hoping for a payoff where yeah, we get more from it, where it feels like, oh, this is progressing, like the science side of it, right? We get raw science, and that's like how we're researching stuff. But it'd be interesting if like the story aspect is giving you some tools, is giving you abilities to a degree. I don't know what that would be in this game, what that would mean, but we'll see. Yeah, but same for teenagers going into the park now. So what they're choosing to go back. So who knows? I don't know who knows where the story ends up.
You would hope to with the second one, because I feel it's been 2 years, year and a half since they fully released Grounded 1, that sort of the content roadmap will be a lot fuller, and they'll have more recency and less time in between of how fast they're doing updates for the second one. You would hope, because that'll be a thing too.
I guess you would. I think more so you just hope that it's like a good chunk of stuff at the beginning. I think more so you don't want there to be, I mean, more story, cool, but it's like, oh, but it's just like the same sandbox essentially, just in a park now. Like it has to feel good, and I think that'll be fine. Also, the way it's gonna look, like it already looks stunning, but look, I mean, Avowed looks so good. Like I can only imagine what Grounded being at that scale, the depth of field they force on you, the light blade of shooting through the grass, like this game's gonna look real pretty as well. But yeah, I hope they don't. It's gonna be interesting playing Grounded and then going probably almost right into Grounded 2 at some point to see what they bring over and what like adjustments they do. Being older, what are they gonna add? Because like I don't have too many qualms with Grounded, honestly. I think it's more so they can just improve it, but more intrigued to see how they do it.
That was going to be my thing, is how it's going to be from the quote unquote fully complete game to going back to an early access state again.
Yeah.
Is it going to be like, oh, this isn't real good right now, I'm going to go back to the first game for a little bit until they get some updates out type thing?
Yeah, because I know they took some stuff out. I remember that in the trailer, which I wish I could find, but I mean, they get distracted if I look. They did like remove something because they're going to test other things. So like it's early access, so that's going to be the difference. But yeah, I just playing Grounded, like I hope it keeps the progression of what we're feeling throughout our little experience with Grounded, because it's an excellent game and it so deserves second iteration to expand upon what works well and to work out the little issues in Grounded. I mean, I think Grounded is also a perfect example of an early access title. Grounded is a perfect example of a successful early access title, right? Like from beginning to end, this was early access and then released, and now it's everywhere. Like that's awesome. Good for Xbox and good for Obsidian for having something, and now they're gonna start it again with Grounded 2. Hell yeah! Like it's an awesome thing, and probably in part due to Game Pass, them being able to do this and have 3 games come out in 1 year. What, Obsidian? But I think this is a perfect thing that fits in this type of service.
Looking ahead at Grounded 2, I found kind of a roundup of their last direct they gave. I did not know, but they're working, maybe a bad sign, working with Eidos Montreal is helping with development, which I think they
Oh yeah.
was in the direct at the June showcase. Map is 3 times the size of the backyard. Starting area itself is the size of base Grounded 1. Cockroaches, scorpions, caterpillars new. They're adding a dashing mechanic, which cool, I'm down with. I haven't even thought about that. More of an emphasis on
Perry.
Just found that out today, 3 days in. More of an emphasis
Bonfires.
on different playstyles: tanky warriors, glass cannon rogues, mages, and hunters, with passive and active mutations supporting previously listed archetypes. Backstab damage, so that kind of leads into the rogue being a kind of stealthy, sneaky thing to be doing. Emphasis on making armor and weapons easier to understand, especially in co-op. Special abilities and attacks wanted to be extension of the player, matching their archetype they're building into. But I guess I haven't thought about that, but yeah, if you get like poison, a summon an ant to help you for a little bit, or like a poison stab, or that's kind of how they get around the weapon tool, is just having abilities now.
Yeah. Well, I think they're putting a little of Avowed into Grounded too.
Yeah. Zip lines are one of the things that will not be there at the start.
Yeah, because this time you can saddle bugs and ride them, and they wanted to make sure, they wanted people to test that as opposed to go into what they knew with the zip lines. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was. Can I read a blurb from Xbox?
Yeah, go ahead.
Grounded 2, it's their info page for it. You go all the way to the bottom. It has features: survive, adapt, overcome, in a paragraph. Stronger together, a paragraph. Walking is bogus, a paragraph about walking bugs. And then the last one: a shadow follows you. The threat is always there, watching, learning, waiting. You don't know where it's coming from, only that it never leaves. The deeper you dig, the closer it gets. You were never alone. You thought you were in control. You were wrong. Oh, fuck.
What is that? I hate that.
What? Like, what? What? So, yeah. Whatever, right? We'll see what that's about.
Wild.
Yeah. No, I'm really hopeful for Grounded 2. I talked about it with Avowed, man. Like, Obsidian is easily, I can't think I can't. They're one of my favorite developers easily, and what they're doing between each game, and like I can't wait for Outer Worlds 2 to see what systems and stuff they use in it from the other games, because like I see a through line from Grounded to Avowed, and now looking at more info like from Avowed to Grounded 2. So like, hell yeah, man. What's Outer Worlds going to be, and what part of Outer Worlds is going to be in Outer Worlds 2 will be seeped into Grounded 2, because like the studio is just sharing shit, and teams are like, "Oh, that works for us. That's exactly what we need." Like, and it works. It's working. So hell yeah, can't wait.
Can't wait. Won't have to wait too much longer. As mentioned, Grounded
9
2
days.
launches game preview in July 29th, which is also the same day they will share the public roadmap, so we can kind of get a glimpse at the future. I pulled up a different Xbox Wire article, and that was in. They will have the roadmap on launch day, so kind of build
Oh,
around,
yeah.
decide when you want to jump in. If you want to be there day one, check it out. I will see where we're at with Grounded 1. But even if not, I will be okay playing Grounded 1 throughout the rest of the year, just hopping back in, doing stuff. Like, I'm that invested where this is gonna be gonna be a Sea of Thieves for me, where I'm constantly coming back to check out.
Yeah. Well, I think we should play Grounded fully, and then when we're done, we can stop and then give time and then jump Grounded 2. There's no rush.
No rush.
Unless it's fucking awesome, then maybe we hop right in.
It's just
we get
it's
FOMO.
everything we want, day one.
Yeah, it's crazy that the starting area is the size that we're playing on, because like it's huge. So if the story just fully encompasses the starting tutorial area in Grounded 2, dude, that's the size of the first game. Like what? That's crazy.
Can't wait. I'm happy we jumped in, because again, this is something that I would never touch before, and I'm the most enjoyment I'm getting out of games right now. So
Hell yeah.
well worth. City, and you're killing it.
Wait.
Fingers crossed, Outer Worlds 2 hits for me now.
I'm so excited. I'm done watching and looking at stuff for that. It's something that's going to come in Game Pass, and I'm going to have it downloaded, and I'm going to press play. That's what's going to happen with it, and I can't wait.
What we need to do
Obsidian, man.
next week is look ahead at the rest of the year. What's coming out?
I thought you said Dune is coming next week, and I was like, the last thing I need is Dune Awakening. That game looks awesome, but I know it's coming to console. I can't touch that. I got grounded. Oh my god, I get lost in Dune Awakening. We should do a look ahead.
You got till next year for Dune on console, it looks like.
Shoot. That's good. I don't need it. I got too much stuff. Destiny. Too much time eaters.
Too many games.
Too many games.
Too many games. With that, Kyle, tune down the show here. What are you up to this week? You're on schedules now. You're doing schedules. You're all in. You're being adult about
except
this.
It's fine. The one I scheduled didn't post. That sucked. But then I changed it anyway, so it worked out. But yeah, trying to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That's so hard to say for some reason. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday around 7 or probably 8 p.m. streaming. Going to be doing a lot of Destiny. I'll say that. But we will definitely do Grounded at some point, probably sooner than later. But we will talk and figure out a day for that. But yeah, they'll be on twitch.tv/Kyle the Do.
Perfect. Love it. Kyle the Do everywhere, all the socials.
Yes.
Me, what do I got this week? Grand Theft Auto. We're 4 parts into that so far. Again, doing the first, I told you earlier, doing the first heist, getting that set up. Don't know how far into the game that is. Still feels very early.
Early.
I'm still kind of doing.
You met Trevor yet?
No.
Yeah, Trevor's after that first heist. Oh yeah, yeah.
I feel like I need to find a
game.
list of like side quests to actually do, because right now I'm like, Trevor's got a mission, go do that. Michael's got a mission, go do that. And I'm doing everything at once. I feel like Franklin, not Trevor. I feel at one point I'm gonna have to kind of roll back on that. It's just gonna put me so far behind not beating this game. So doing that, and probably some more Neon Abyss 2 this week. Got a code for that, playing that. Got some issues, but it's fun.
Yeah, I got a code for that as well. So shout out to Kepler for that. We need to play that together because it's a multiplayer game that we should try.
Yeah.
But it is in early access, so we can cover. It's a rolling coverage. But so shout out. It's awesome. We both got codes, so we could. It's that multiplayer thing.
So good. It's if you played the Steam Next Fest demo, it's pretty much where that was. With a few more issues, I've had a weird thing that multiple people, and they responded to me on Twitter. The game likes to do language in Japanese, and at first I thought it was like a fun Easter egg where I like got a new weapon and the text was all Japanese. I couldn't understand what it was. I was like, well, I'll pick it up and see if it's good or not. And then I beat a level and all that text was in Japanese, would quickly switch back. I'm like, oh, this is just a thing. Okay.
I noticed that too in my 20-minute or an hour, whatever I played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
That's so funny.
this is a difficulty level I did not want to do of learning a new language to play the game.
It just randomly will go to a different language. Crazy.
With that,
Yeah, those type of games are not typically my thing, but I'm down to give it a try and keep it going. It's something that, hey, try new things. Sometimes it hits. So I like kind of the upgrades and all the weapons you're able to do in Neon Abyss. Like that was cool seeing the variety of that. So that might be something that catches me, and also playing with you. That might be something that grabs me there.
The variety is what caught me initially, because it was, I mentioned it in the preview, it was, you don't feel like you're forced into certain builds because there's literally hundreds of weapons that you're constantly unlocking. So every time it's whatever works. If you find something twice, stick with it, but you're not forced into, I need this build to do this type thing. So,
which is a good feeling because
games can be tricky.
Yeah.
With that, we'll catch you all next week, same time, same place, twitch.tv/Badlands Backlogs. This episode will be up tomorrow morning, Monday, July 21st. Bright and early, YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the good places. Drop a like, comment, follow, share. Give us your thoughts and opinions on what we discussed today. Start playing Grounded. That's all I'm going to say. It's good. Tell us your Grounded thoughts. I want to hear about them. Give me the tips and tricks. We'll catch you all next week.
Please.
Happy gaming. Bye.
Bye.